Hello and welcome to day 5 of Finding Grace through Replenish. We are going to continue to look at Savasana in this video. So in the last video, we looked at coming into Savasana in order to allow our body to come to stillness. And in this video, I want to look at lying in stillness and what that means, and then coming out of that stillness. And how to do that and why to do it that way. Because these are some really vital things that seem maybe not so significant until you learn the actual reasons why they're done that way. So we found ourselves in a comfortable Savasana, right? After we took our time. Oh, let me bring myself so you can actually see my body. There we go. I think you can see my body now. So we took the time to, lift our hips up and extend them out, bring our legs about hip distance apart, and then let them flop open. And then now one shoulder blade wrapping around, arm out to the side, other shoulder blade wrapping around, arm out to the side, palms are soft. And then just gently lifting up your neck and lengthening it out and resting it down. And eyes, again, as I said, they don't have to be completely closed. They could just have a soft gaze because you don't want any part of your body to be working. You want your muscles to just be, to allow yourself to just relax and be. And it's really important that when you're here, you just really let your body be in this stillness, right? And stay in this stillness. I get asked often, well, Amy, I'm not comfortable there. And so I already talked yesterday about, maybe you're not in the comfortable position because you need to put some blocks underneath your thighs and play around with where in your legs that really means that you should be. So that's one way, right? Allowing that body to come to stillness so that you can really just... But for other people, they can't come to stillness because they can't shut their mind off still. Their mind is still going. So first and foremost, you want to let that breath to flow natural. Because if you're focusing on Ujjayi breath during Shavasana, that's kind of disrespectful of the people around you, right? Because the people around you are just expecting quietness and stillness. And someone is like, and if you have a neighbor doing that, then that's automatically going to make you feel like you need to be breathing too. And so you want to try to keep that breath flow in a natural flow. So you don't want to focus on the breath necessarily, but there are other things that you can mentally focus on. So allowing your breath to flow natural, but maybe bringing a count to it just to, bring a focus. So, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're saying that in your head, but you're just letting the breath flow natural, you're not breathing in and out through your nose, you're definitely not closing off the back of your throat, but just to have that mental focus. The other thing you might do for a mental focus to keep your body in stillness if you're having a difficult time is have a chant. Minnie Mouse, move out of the way. Thank you. Have a chant that you say in your head, or a little phrase like peace and calmness, or serenity. Something really simple that you can just, as a mantra, just repeat in your head to yourself to keep your mind focused so that the rest of your body can come to stillness. So try to find something to focus your mind on if it is the restless part. Remembering that if your mind wanders and you find yourself, doing your grocery list or the checklist of things that you have to do when you leave, then, letting that go check it, let it go, and then come back into that mental stillness so your body can come into the physical stillness. And then that brings us to, after we've had our time in quiet, what do we do next? How do we come up out of this? And this is really important. I'm just going to fix this because Minnie just moved it. This is really important. Just as it was important to come to complete stillness in your Savasana, it's equally important to come to complete stillness when you're coming out, right? So this is what I often see in Savasana. People are coming out of their Savasana and, you know, they do all of the wiggle finger toes and they stretch and they hug their knees in. They might even come to their side, but a lot of times they stay here. And then when it's time to come to stillness, they shoot up. Never, ever, ever roll up to seated. There's a definitive reason why we don't do this. When we've come into Savasana, we've brought our entire body to stillness. So if we roll up to seated so fast, we're counteracting all of that stillness that we've brought. And we've triggered our fight or flight mode. Because we come up and it's like, okay, I'm ready to go. Instead of gently awakening your body. So imagine in the morning when you wake up for your day, you're lying in bed, all nice and still. Your alarm goes off and you're like, okay, I'm ready for my day. I really don't think that people do that because that's so aggressive. So likewise, when you come out of your Savasana, you need to do it gently and slowly. And you need to keep body points in check throughout all of the process. So the first thing is we roll on our side and we come into a fetal position. There is a reason why we roll onto our right side and not our left side. When we roll onto our left side, that's activating digestion. We didn't just eat a meal, we did a yoga practice. So when we roll onto our right side, when we come up and we press up to our seated position, we're allowing optimal breath to happen. Whereas when we come up from our left side, it's different. Our body is focusing on digestion, so we're not allowing optimal breath to happen. Remember, I talked about the significance of breath with grace. And when we inhale up, we inhale all of those brand new possibilities that are waiting to happen when we are reborn from our Savasana. So really important to come onto your right side. Unless, of course, you're pregnant and you're somewhere approximately around the 20 weeks, depends on how big you are. But around the 20 weeks, you want to start rolling onto your left side because of your vein that cuts across your abdomen. You don't want to cause any stress on that, so you roll onto your left side. But that's the only time you roll onto your left side. Otherwise, you always roll onto your right side into a fetal position, right? We come into a fetal position very significantly because we just died in Savasana. And then we are going to be reborn. This is the state of grace that we are opening into, all of the new possibilities that we are being rebirthed into after our Savasana. So it's very important we come from our Savasana and, wiggle finger toes, stretch, hug your knees in, rock side to side. All of that are very gentle and slow movements. And then we roll onto our right side. And we stay on our right side in a fetal position. And when it's time to rise up, we keep our legs still so that our hip stays onto the mat. This will keep that fight or flight mode calm. This calms the whole nervous system down and keeps it nice and relaxed. You press your palm into the mat and you inhale, gently making your way up, and you come around to seated. It was very gentle. At no time did my body lose contact with the mat. The right side of my body, some part of it, was constantly in contact. And that rooting into the ground makes my nervous system say, we're all okay. Keeps the body nice and calm. So that when I'm inhaling and pushing up, I'm open to all of these possibilities instead of when I roll forward being aggravated, whether you consciously or unconsciously aware of it, consciously or subconsciously, aware of it, aggravated, okay, let's go. Because those are the people that are ready to just leave and walk out the door. But that's not time yet. There's still more things that need to be done after we come to seated. So that will be tomorrow's video. What do we do once we're in a seated position? And why is this still a part of Savasana? Remember, Savasana is dying. Coming out of Savasana is being reborn into a state of grace. All of the new possibilities. Thanks for joining me in this video. I look forward to seeing you on your mat and to tomorrow's video of continuing Savasana and exploring grace through that.